Are you guys good at picking out undercover cops? Because I feel like I'm always the person that arrives late to wherever, and everyone's like, "Oh, did you see that undercover cop? He was. How could you have missed him? He was so obvious." And I didn't see him.
The only time that ever happened to me is I was on a flight. I was sitting next to a guy who, the guys who wear they have a jacket, a sport jacket that they wear to either court or a funeral. Like that's it, and then they physically. They look like,
They look like they left the hanger in.
Yeah, you ever do a weird thing where you put like a sock on one of your dog's paws and it just fucking walks weird? Like they don't know how to move with this thing on them. Mm-hmm. And the guy was just sitting next to me looking not like he belonged in first class, I judge. And he was just sitting there. I wasn't racially profiling. He was just a sort of beefy white dude. And he's just sitting there looking like uncomfortable in his jacket. And I said, striking up conversation. I'm like, what are you doing? He's like, nothing. What business you in? He was like, all right, I'm an air marshal. All right, you got me. Like he had no fucking rap. He was 3 syllables away from just being busted. Now maybe he recognized me. I don't know, but he was.
That's hilarious.
Just opened him up like a can of sardines with just 2 questions. He admitted he was an air marshal.
I feel like 10 minutes later, even if you hadn't said anything, he would have just been like, "Okay, I'm an air marshal."
Yeah, he did not look right. Like it's one of those things. They tell them wear sport coats, but they're not used to wearing sport coats, so they look uncomfortable in sport coats, and then they don't have the slacks and the shirt that go with the sport coat, so they stand out like a sore thumb. So they should just tell the air marshal, especially in a day when all the rich people are just wearing cargo shorts and flip-flops, just fucking dress like Mark Cuban would dress if he flew commercial.
Why do air marshals have to be undercover anyway?
Well, they have to be undercover so we know that we don't know they're on less than 1% of the flights.
Oh.
Yeah.
I see. It's to make up for the lack of them.
I think so.
Totally.
Oh, he said not to say anything. They're not on very many flights.
Well, that's comforting.
Saying? Well, I mean, it's not like in that San Francisco disaster the air marshal snapped into action or anything.
Yes. And actually, update on that story. People are now.
So wait a second. They got her for this is attempted murder, right? I mean, what do they give you?
Conspiracy to commit murder?
Conspiracy, yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. But why
solicitation of murder.
She could get life.
What's it come with? Like, where does this fall between like manslaughter? Above, below? She could
facing
get life
in prison.
I feel like everyone's facing life in prison.
She could get just 6 years. She could get probation. I mean, that's it. There's a lot of leeway. Whereas manslaughter, I don't think goes down that far.
And she's 21, so she'd be 25, 26, when she gets out.
Yeah, and she's smart. She'll have a good future.
Oh yeah, some Fortune 500 company will snap her right up, fresh out of the
killer
joint.
instinct.
I got a new job for you, Anthony. It's a show called Nice Job, where we just go talk to their parents. Your 21-year-old daughter's having a casual conversation with a stranger about killing her new husband. Nice job.
Way to go.
You guys have done a wonderful job raising this job.
I think that would be a tough show to book.
It'd be tough.
It'd be hard. Yeah, hard to get guests.
Right.
I'd watch it.
Mm-hmm. All right.
I mean,
yes.
Something to think about, though, is that I bet if she does go to jail, whatever happens to her, she will fall in love again, or someone will fall in love with her. Because Anthony, on this show, oftentimes we talk about the serial killers who the women who fall in love with serial killers in jail, and like what's wrong with them. But I feel like it would be what's wrong with the guy that falls in love with her. Because there's some guy out there who's digging what he's seeing.
My feeling would be she's got it out of her system. Every woman has one. She used hers early on, and what are the chances that lightning's going to strike twice?
I think it would be comforting in that situation because you would go into the relationship knowing how crazy she is. Mm-hmm. Most of them surprise you with it down the road, but you know her worst.
Mm-hmm.
It's going to be a pleasant surprise if she doesn't try and kill you.
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
Right.
But I think the guy who's saying her husband now is trying to like give goodwill and be like to keep her out of jail, that is for pussy down the line.
Mm-hmm.
So we can just use that and be like, oh yeah, she tried to kill me. I got her out of prison, but now
lay away.
Exactly.
Powerful.
Yeah.
By the way, the whole thing with the insurance policy would be like, just got back from the State Farm office. If I die, you get $111. I would never do. You cannot do the.
Yeah.
$400,000 to a lot of people sounds like just a fucking king's ransom, and there's no life that's worth it. Like, I don't even know if she disliked the guy. It's just the idea. I don't know why at 27
Well, she
you
wanted
need
it to be painless.
Yeah, why you needed.
She thought it'd be easier than breaking up with him. They were fighting.
Oh, okay. Well, then it's on him. I didn't know they were fighting.
You're right, though. You should always keep your insurance policy figure to yourself.
Yeah. Yeah, and why even, 21, he's 27, what's, how much do you need? All right.
Did you hear about this crazy thing that happened on a soccer field in Brazil? Which, Brazil is a place where they always have parades, right? Isn't that what we were
Carnival.
talking about?
That's what they're famous for.
That's what they do. Yeah.
Right. Well, now they're famous for something else. So, soccer match, a referee expelled a player, and then they got in a fight, and then the referee stabbed the player with a knife. And as he was on his way to the hospital, the player's family members stormed the field and began they quartered the referee. Once they got word that the player had died, and I don't know how they were communicating, I'm assuming by cell phone, they cut the guy up into little pieces and then decapitated him and put his head on a stake, the referee.
Well, did they draw and quarter him like old school days?
It wasn't like horses, but they pulled, tied him up and then cut his arms and legs off.
Yeah.
In Brazil, they love two things: soccer and Game of Thrones.
Those are the two loves?
Exactly. Yeah.
It's a great precursor for the World Cup, which is showing up there in 2014. One more reason to fucking hate soccer. They have, first off, I've said this once, said 1,000 times. The people up in the audience are so fucking bored that fighting seems like a nice alternative to nothing going on the field, number one. Number two, it's the only sport that I'm aware of that still has horrible racists up in the stands. Nobody ever talks about this. It's I've seen like the Real Sports on it. It's how you know there's just no fucking God, which is it was Spain, I think, that won one year. We never stopped beating ourselves up like we invented racism and we've got the market cornered on it. Many of these countries are way worse than we are. And these guys, if you come to, I think it was Spain about 3 or 4 years ago, if the black players, there's always, 2 or 3 black players on the team, they do a corner kick, they'd be pelted with bananas. Not funny, Bryan.
I'm sorry.
I mean, not funny on the air. Funny soon later on.
Okay.
Okay, like when we're in the hall.
We'll time that better.
They get pelted with bananas, and they do like ape calls and stuff like that. It's horrible. And then there's the Aryan Brotherhood that's up in the stands, and they just. The stadium just sort of lets them in, and hands. They have a fake Hitler mustache night and stuff like that. We get a little mini. I mean, it's not a nice mustache.
They call it Charlie Chaplin night, but we know what it is.
We know what we're talking about.
Don't be naive.
And they just fucking tolerate this stuff. But by the way, Spain, biggest offender, and then they win the World Cup that year. And I'm like, there is definitely no God. There's definitely no. You don't fucking let them pelt black players with bananas and then give them the fucking World Cup. So there's definitely no God. But hooligans fighting because their sport fucking sucks and is super fucking boring. The players are all idiots. Their hair's all fucked up. Their tattoos are stupid. They fight. They wear their stupid silky shorts. Everyone in the crowd's an animal. Fuck it. They don't need it anymore.
Can you imagine, though, if let's say you're just not really a soccer fan, but your boyfriend had tickets or your family dragged you there, and then you happen to see someone get decapitated on the field?
Yeah. Yeah.
What a great day.
Now, I heard this was, in a rough neighborhood. No shit, by the way, and a little off the beaten path. Like this wasn't, the Staples Center prime time. But yeah, there's fucking first off, a lot of countries are fucked up. And when it comes to soccer, I mean, you remember the world, we had the cup out here, and remember the poor guy? I mean, this is an amazing 30 for 30. I think it's a 30 for 30.
Was it the Women's World Cup?
It's the two Escobars. There was the one Escobar that played for like the Colombian.
Yeah.
Colombia's awesome place, awesome people. Don't get. I mean, it's not the people. It's got to be the fucking dirt. I don't know. It can't be the people. Yeah. It must be the top layer of soil that makes it such a piece of shit. But the Colombian guy, who's like the nicest guy and one of the stars of the team, accidentally kicked a goal for the other team. This is
I think it was against the U.S.
We'll
wasn't it?
find this. We'll
It was
find
an own
this.
goal,
Yeah, he kicked it into his own goal, and then of course, was killed when he got back to Colombia. Because what are you going to do?
Oh yeah,
You can't. The guy's ripe old age of 27. You can't let him live. After being a star on your team, he mistakenly, tried to kick it to his goalie or whatever, and it fucking went in. And it's like, all right, well, that'll be the end of him.
Yeah.
Awesome, and it's impossible to judge. By the way, all cultures are the same, and they're all wonderful.
I think sports, though, would be more fun if every time someone screwed up, if every time someone made an error or did something, that they were killed after the game.
Right, like it was a real penalty.
Yeah, every game would be like the Super Bowl.
This guy, this poor Escobar guy, they shot it, and he tried to lay out and block it, and instead it went in. It wasn't. He was trying to block it and went in. I don't know. This must have happened 20 times since I brought this up. It's just got to happen all the time. But he lives in Colombia, so he must be killed when he gets back to Colombia. It's awesome
well, I won't
culture.
miss his haircut.
No. Well, I mean, to be fair, this is 94 or whatever. Give him a break.
Also, do you know how much strength it takes to quarter someone? I'm imagining.
Yes, I do. I mean, what are you looking at me for? Yeah, I don't.
Like, what weapons did they? I mean,
Remember
I guess
that
it's
everyone
crowd
there
force.
has a machete. They
I
all
guess,
have
yeah.
machetes.
If they don't, they will issue one when you come in.
Yeah.
Do you have a machete?
That's smart.
With proof of machete. Half off with proof of machete.
It's like when you're crossing the street in Portland, you pull out one of those, whatever.
One of those flags.
Those
There, they
happen
hand
around.
you a machete. All right, it's awesome. Look, fuck this soccer. Get rid of it. Fucking need it anymore. All right. And who the fuck would want to be a referee for anything?
Ugh.
Like, what's the upside?
Yeah,
You
it's
get
like being
yelled
the
at.
manager of a band or something.
Yeah, no one. There's always going to be 50% of the people who are playing who are pissed off. I mean, your foot's on the line. One team's going to be happy. The other team's going to be pissed. There's always going to be someone yelling at you.
Yeah.
There's no celebrating a win because you can't celebrate a win. It's
You're right.
fucking thankless.
What makes someone decide to be a ref or an umpire?
They're either better than me or they just really love being around kids for no good reason, and I don't trust them.
Yeah, there's no level of referee that's good. Even if you're like refereeing like 5-year-olds, their parents are screaming at you. If you get pros, you got the whole world screaming at you.
Yeah.
I have no idea what goes through someone's head.
The
when they do that.
stud of all the ref world are the hockey guys because they got the skates on.
Yeah.
And they're going up on the boards and shit. Like those
And are
guys
they called referees?
Ooh, I guess.
I think referees.
Yeah.
And they've got that cool move where when the puck comes underneath them, they jump up.
That's right.
They all have that move, and it's awesome every time.
The great
They're
puck
good.
dodgers.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. No one misses a puck like them. I don't care how good you are at avoiding puck.
Right.
They can duck a puck much fucking better than you can. That's their job. All right.
That's their sole training is probably just learning
Get
that.
the fuck out of the way. That's how they do it. They do a face-off, and they see who gets to the boards first. They just drop it right in the middle.
Exactly.
But those guys can skate, and they go up on the boards all the time because they have to get the fuck out of the way. Nice picture, guy leaping over a puck.
They used to make hockey referees back in the day, and you know how they drop the puck? Mm-hmm. They started out placing the puck on the ice.
Really?
And those guys' hands would get fucking mangled every couple of seconds.
Yeah.
I don't know how long they had to wait until they realized, hey, let's drop this thing. It was a while.
Yeah. I would almost have to do the pump move I do with my dog in the tennis ball at the park. You know what I mean? I'd have to do that. Okay, you guys ready? Hup, hup, hup,
Almost got you there.
hup. Then about the third one, you get the stick across the face.
You put behind your back. Where'd it go?
I pretend to shit it out. I put it on my back. Ah! Damn! Goddamn Thai food. Oh! Then just fall out, and then they just start it.
There's pretty much nothing that isn't funny if you pretend to shit it out.
That's what I've found.
True.
Yeah.
That's true.
So an update to the story about the Asiana or Asiana. I don't know. I've heard both.
That's
Plane crash.
Asiana.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
I think it might be Asiana though.
Just say yellow.
I don't even get that.
Yeah, what? I'm just laughing because I'm uncomfortable. The pilots say that the automated cockpit equipment was working. I mean, it wasn't working, but it was engaged.
Mm-hmm. Ooh. To be married? If it's engaged, then it should be operating, right? And
Yeah.
if it's operating, then
So
it
I don't-
shouldn't crash. But the
But
San
computers
Francisco
make mistakes all the time. So, I mean, perhaps I think what they're suggesting is that it was calibrated wrong somehow, and that the plane was going too slow.
Didn't the San Francisco airport have its whatever grid down under repair? That was the story I heard, that whatever the glide path whatever thing was being worked on. But then it's one of these things where, like, well, while it's down, should you be allowing huge planes with 300 people in them to land or attempt to land?
My thing is,
yes.
Let's not have the first time that the pilot tries to land one of these be with a plane full of people.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know really where the fault lies.
Yeah.
That seems like
or
maybe
at least what I call keepers. Let's put convicts. Let's put the disabled.
Ooh, Con Air.
Yeah.
Load 'em up.
Yeah, let's put some expendable.
Sure right.
Yeah, because we have to simulate the weight. We have to get the weight right. But on the other hand, people we won't miss. Brazilian soccer fans, you know what I mean?
Right.
Stuff like that. What if we found out the plane was just filled with the people who were in the stands who drew and quartered that referee? We'd be like, well, what are you gonna do?
Yeah.
I bet the trash can at the terminal where all the Brazilian soccer fans got on the plane would just be full of machetes.
Yeah, they got
That they had to get
water
rid of
bottles
before
and
they-
machetes.
yeah.
Right before
Yeah.
TSA.
Yeah.
Well, they can travel and they just have to take it out of their bag and have it go through the conveyor by itself.
To be in its own thing.
Does anyone use that like amnesty bin? That's not like throw away your whatever now. This is your last chance. No questions asked. You've seen those, right? International flights or whatever.
No,
There's
I've seen.
the amnesty bin, like throw away ostensibly your weed or your drugs or whatever.
Oh, really?
Isn't that what you were talking about? Or is it literally
No,
just a
they
trash
just
can?
throw it away.
I just mean
I
the
feel
trash
like I
can.
saw that when I traveled internationally. Like there's a bin
Internationally.
like an amnesty bin. Like
Oh,
Throw away
but
your
they
money.
mean more like for pineapples and shit, right?
I guess I could think anything they could seize. But has anyone ever used one of those?
Well, if you've keistered a couple balloons of heroin, I think no. Like sitting on that thing, reading the sports page, going clear out, everybody.
Drinking some coffee. Yeah.
I've done some soul searching. Yeah. Anyone want to make another Starbucks run? It certainly helped things along.
Have you guys seen that show Locked Up Abroad? I went through a
Yes.
phase where I used to watch it a lot.
Yeah.
The scene where it's always a reenactment, but the scene where the person who has drugs on their person is going through the airport, I begin to sweat just watching it.
Yeah.
It's so tense.
Yeah.
And they usually get caught, or always get caught.
Yeah, well, it's I mean, they wouldn't have made the episode.
Right.
if
But
they-
I experienced that thing like when you see a movie for the second time thinking, but maybe that won't happen again.
They do great reenactments because it's evidently in the role of acting, looking dicey is like one of the easiest gigs
Yeah.
around because they have they're not actors that you've ever heard of.
No, they're people
Comedy-
who have dicey faces.
I don't think they can pull comedy off, but they get guys like her like Honduras security with like thin mustaches. All you got to do is put one of those guys in one of those bad cop outfits and have them look. You go black and white with the film. Like she gets locked up in '97. You don't think that color film back then, but this is the black and white. And then he's looking at her, and then she's looking down, and then they're playing music, and then there's a shot. Always a shot of a guy holding a dog. At
Yes.
some point, and they look at her,
Right.
and then she looks at each other, and everyone stops and looks at each other, and then he pulls the bag out of the thing. But the amnesty, first off, the amnesty trash can,
Yeah, I sent Gary a picture of it.
I would first off, I used to work at McDonald's, and if something sat in the hopper too long, they'd have to throw it away, and so like the amnesty bin,
Yeah, there it is.
yeah.
It's like Homeland Security. Like it's like their
Good
official,
names
like,
for-
Where do you put your thing?
It's got a flap
The
on
yellow
it.
thing
It's
is
just
a
they
flap,
just
I
did a
think.
good job with the laminate work. I know good laminate work.
That would be a fun job to clean that out. At the end of
That's what I
every
was
day,
gonna say.
just to see.
Good name for A's V too, by the way. When I worked at McDonald's, if the thing sat in the hopper too long, I'd be like, I'll throw away those filet fish. I'm on that. And I'd run out to the dumpster and I'd shove as many in my mouth as I fucking possibly could because I was an animal. And I would be the first guy to volunteer to empty the thing because, weed, Coke, pineapples, whatever they're chucking.
It's got to be
I'm
good.
in. Well, what'd you get there? I got 3 Leathermen and a fucking kilo of cocaine.
I got a pineapple full of
Full
cocaine.
of cocaine and Leatherman. This is awesome.
I got a dead baby
Yeah.
full of cocaine.
Stark, Alison.
I would basically treat it like Storage Wars, where I'd be like, You don't have to pay me. I just want what's in the bin. And obviously, some days are going to be lean days. Like there's going to be some shitty fruit that's rotting down there, and then other days it's going to be fucking gold. You don't know.
Every day they bid on who gets to take the bin.
Yeah.
They make so much money for their country that way.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Should do it for sure.
Yeah. We're going to get on that. Pitch it to the Comedy Central people. Yeah. Locked Up Abroad.
And what I realized, because I always wondered, how do they find these locked up abroad stories, the ones that they base the reenactment on? And usually there's a religious conversion at some point that I think they downplay in Locked Up Abroad. But I think that must be somehow through through some church or through some program. That's how they're finding the stories.
My whole thing with muling drugs would be like, I will definitely fill my keister with heroin and bring it in to another country, but I have a couple of countries I deal with. Like Sweden, you know what I mean? I don't go into Thailand and do it. I go to the place where the guy, it was Sweden. I remember the guy went on the fucking crazy rampage on the island with all the kids, and he killed like
I think it was Norway.
Norway, yeah.
Norway. That's one of my
something.
drug-friendly cities. That's on my list of cities of
City of Norway?
of city of Norway of countries to smuggle drugs into because he's living in a fucking condominium right now with a view and a flat screen TV. But I mean, to be fair, he only shot like 73 kids.
Yeah.
So it's like high 2 digits, but not triple digits. No. So it's like, it was like 74, 75 kids. And he's like eligible for parole in a few years, and he's eating better than half the people I know. And that's after stacking up some kids' bodies. So if this is just a couple kilos of heroin, fuck, I'll be living in the governor's mansion,
It's true.
I want to find out how many kids, those were kids he killed, or teenagers or whatever. They get kind of left off the. You see, when the left does the hey Europe there's so much that's one story that gets a little bit pushed off the side a little bit. He got on an island with a bunch of kids and just went on some kind of fucking safari. We made something of it here, but not that much out of it here.
It was like an odd news story here. Yeah, it wasn't Newtown by any means.
We had bigger fish to fry, except for this was a whole shitload of kids, and now I think he's living in like a townhouse.
I wonder what would have been like if that guy had been black, because he looked like. Remember one of the bad guys from Die Hard, who he hangs by the chain toward the end, and he comes back, and the black cop kills him. He looked like Klaus. I think that maybe changed some people's minds about him, that he couldn't be that bad if he was blonde-haired, blue-eyed. Being a black guy.
If he looked like Ike Turner, he'd be doing Hard Time right now. Yeah. I don't even know if they have black people there.
I was going to say, I feel like it just wouldn't
I don't think
what
so.
Norway? What?
I don't know.
Oh. Carl, not Klaus. God damn it.
Shit. Oh, he only killed 69 people. So, not even 70.
Yeah, not even.
Yeah.
He didn't break the 70 barrier.
Mostly teenagers. Our society's so fucking bizarre that I swear to God, if you we don't know. To me, it's all kind of a numbers game. Like, you kill 2 people, that's a bad thing, but 69 people's a lot. It's a
lot more than 2.
That's
for sure.
a fucking. And I will try to figure out where he's. But I'll bet you more. I bet you Paula Deen is more universally hated than this guy is. Just in the general zeitgeist of humanity.
Sure. But I wonder what number would be the big, because people talk about 6 million Jews, and Germany has been forgiven across the board. What would
there
be
he
the
is
number?
with Klaus. Yeah,
exactly. I nailed that.
Yeah, that's good.
That was good.
This guy doesn't look like he could have been.
Again, he's got hair problems. I don't mean to harp on everyone's hair, but it's not working. But he's attractive otherwise.
I think that's probably what they wear in prison. It's like a popped polo collar, like a sweater in Sweden or Norway.
He could have been in an ABBA tribute band called Bab.
Yes.
B-A-B.
Yeah. I mean, really could have been in one of those bands. Now we got to figure out what he's how he's living. But I swear to God, he can be up for parole in like 7 years.
Yeah.
Which I know they look at as super evolved. Like, you don't know how evolved we are, and it's like, that's not evolved. This guy fucking killed 69 teenagers.
I guess their logic is like, what are the chances he does it again?
I guess so. Yeah, he's sentenced to a minimum of 10 years, but he really he has like a flat screen TV in a townhouse.
Yeah.
So awesome. All right, let's bring it home, baby girl.
That's the news. I'm Alison Rosen. Zip it, cunts.
That was the news with Alison Rosen.
All right. Oh, he has, I'm reading about this guy. He has regular access to a computer, though he doesn't have internet access.
Well, then he'll get even more done.
That's right. He's writing 8 to 10 hours a day, sending letters to politicians and influencers.
You can expect a letter anytime, Adam.
Yeah. That's right. I'm on the vanguard over here. All right.
I would think that every letter he writes starts with, sorry about your kid.
Yeah.
When does he run out of apology letters to write?
Well, I think he's a nutty right winger or something that is probably. See, here's the thing: these guys are nuts, and then they do something nutty, and then instead of just sort of putting them down like a bad soccer ref, we let them live because we think it's the humane thing to do, and then they get to just sort of spout out the nuttiness for the next 40 years. We have to kind of deal with it. Like, Charles Manson's having another press conference. It's like, all right, Charlie, what do you got this time? I am the overlord. Fuck. I was like, just fucking kill him.
Yeah.
What do we need to hear from him?
Oh, we'll learn something how to prevent this. They don't learn shit from any of these guys ever.
Right.
Ever.
That's right. Let's just fucking put him down. All right. I want to thank Dave Dameshek for coming in here.